Hey guys, it's Haley and today I'm going to be doing a video all about my major. I'm a junior at Bridgewater State University and I'm double majoring in elementary education and English. So if you go to Bridgewater or if you're looking into it, if you want to do elementary education, you have to pick a second major. They recommend that you pick majors that are kind of like content areas, so English, history, math. But you can also pick other majors like psychology. In high school, English was like my best subject and it was just the only subject I could see myself majoring in, and then maybe even teaching, because nowadays a lot of elementary schools are like departmentalized. But in this video, I'm basically going to break down everything about those two majors. I'm going to talk about English first just because you don't really do anything related to your elementary education major until your senior year, which is crazy, but that's how it kind of works. The only two classes you have to take that are elementary ed related during like your sophomore or junior year are LED 120 and LED 220. But those are the only two elementary education classes you can really take up until, like I said, senior year, when you go into the block in student teaching. And I will talk about those in depth later on in this video. I should probably start just in general. If no matter what major you have at Bridgewater, you have to complete the core requirements as well. And sometimes they're called like general education classes at other colleges, but at Bridgewater we call it the core. There's all kinds of like subdivisions of the core, but in general you have to take like a science lab, a science non-lab, writing intensive, speaking intensive classes, 2 fine and performing art classes. There's all kinds of requirements, but no matter what major you are, you have to complete those requirements in order to graduate. It's recommended that you mix your core with your major. For me, I've been mixing them since freshman year and it's worked out really great. And some classes can actually cover more than one requirement. So for example, you can have a history class that also counts as writing intensive. So it would cover the global or humanities maybe, and then it would also cover a writing intensive requirement. You just have to take the time to look into the classes on InfoBear and see like what requirements it covers. My freshman year, I just sat down and literally made my plan for the next 4 years, which I definitely recommend doing. I can do a video more in depth on that. It's a little Bridgewater State specific, but I think it's helpful to any college, honestly. Starting my freshman year spring semester, I always took at least 2 English classes a semester. Oh, I should have said this already, but if you're an elementary education major and you want to graduate within 4 years, you need to finish up your core and your second major within 3 years. So that means by the end of junior year, you need to be done with your second major and all the core requirements. For me, I'm on track right now. Since I planned everything, I'm all set to be in the block for fall of next year, which is crazy. So currently I'm a junior, it's fall semester, and I have to take 3 English classes this semester just because I just needed to take 3 one semester. The English major is 36 credits, I believe, and in general you need 120 credits to graduate from college. Well, at least where I am. So you need 120 credits. I get 36 for my English major, and then I don't even know how many credits is the core, but that's a decent chunk of credits. And then with my other major, like, I'm just totally fine with credits. I'll probably have more than the 120 by the time I graduate, just because when you're double majoring, like, that's really not an issue. I usually get asked on like my videos and stuff like how my English major is like in regards to the workload, and English is definitely a time-consuming major. I kind of went over this in my college Q&A video, but it's obviously not like a lot of memorization or anything like that. It's not vigorous in the way that you would think of like a biology class where, I don't know, like, I don't consider it hard mentally. It's not easy. Okay. English is not easy, but it's not hard either, if that makes sense. Other majors are more like study heavy, while English is definitely reading and writing heavy, obviously. With my 3 English classes now that I'm taking, I have about 400 pages a week to read. Not all of it gets read, obviously, but that is what they expect of you. But honestly, don't let that scare you. Like, I loved reading. I still kind of do, but since it's always like things that I'm forced to read, it's not as enjoyable anymore. I just never have time to read for pleasure anymore, so that's kind of a downfall of English. And then as for like writing papers, that's a struggle within itself. You write a lot in English, obviously. That's where it gets time consuming. Same with the reading. So reading and writing is just so time consuming, and that's why English isn't easy, and that's why I say it's not hard mentally, but it's hard because it's so time consuming and you're really just doing homework all the time, or at least I am. It's not like math where there's only one right answer, and that's what I definitely like about English, is just you can take your own thinking and make it work for the assignment and make your own thesis and just roll with it. There are wrong answers, but there's a lot of right answers, and I feel like that's the better way to put it rather than there's no wrong answers, and that's why I like it better than like some other majors that I could have chosen for my second major. For elementary education, this is a very big major at BSU. I don't know if any incoming students are going to be watching this, so I'm going to try to break it down into like very simple steps. I know this would have been super helpful for me because I never really got that. You're not really going to be involved in your education major until your senior year, and this is different for different levels of education. I'm elementary education. I think early ed might be similar, but if you're going to be secondary ed, it's not really like this. It's much different, but if you're interested in elementary ed, this is very accurate for you. I'm going to do like a breakdown. Freshman year, you come in, you declare your majors, which will be elementary ed and then your second major. Then you start taking a mix of your core classes and your second major classes, and you do that all throughout up until the end of junior year. And your goal is to finish your second major, which for me is English, and your core classes by the end of junior year. Like, you need to if you want to graduate within 4 years. So probably your sophomore or junior year, you can take those 2 LED classes that are the only classes you can really take, which is 120 and 220. So you take those. Sometime during either your sophomore or junior year, you need to apply to be accepted into the professional program. There is an application process. It's nothing crazy, don't worry, but a lot of people don't know this, and it's very important to know. You can declare your elementary education major, but you're not really in the program yet when you're a freshman or sophomore until you apply and get in. So I applied my sophomore year. The requirements to get into the professional program are pretty simple. You need to have at least a 2.8 GPA. You need to have taken English 101 and 102 and passed with like at least a C. You need to have taken and passed your communication and literacy MTEL. And this is where it gets a little crazy. So I'm going to talk about the MTELs. You need to take 3 MTELs, and I'm going to break that down for you guys. I've taken 2 so far, and I passed them the first try, thank God. Communication literacy is the only one you need to pass in order to get into the program, like to get accepted. But in order to start the block your senior year, which is your senior year fall semester, you need to have passed all 3. There is an appeal process. If you don't have 1 pass, you can appeal it and still get in, but I just recommend trying to get the 3 done and passed before your senior year so that you can just get into the block and not worry about your MTELs anymore. You definitely need to have an MTEL plan. If you take 1 a year, you will be stress-free. So my freshman year, I took communication literacy. You're going to be prepared as long as you've taken English 101 and 102, you'll be fine, but also use like the practice test on the website, an MTEL prep book, that's also helpful. Sophomore year, which was last year for me, I took the general curriculum MTEL. Communication literacy MTEL consists of 2 subtests, and it's the reading and writing. So you can take these separately or together. I took them together and I was fine with the time limit. You have 4 hours to take the test. But if you think you'll need more time on one subsection, you can take them separately. But this usually ends up costing more money. These tests do cost money. They're quite expensive. They're around like $124 each test. But if you take them separately, I think they're about $80 or $90. So you do end up spending more money if you take them separately. But don't let that scare you into taking it together if you think you need to take them separately. I took the general curriculum test separately because 1 half was math and 1 half was history, English, and science. And I knew that I needed all the time I could get for the math subtests, because I have really bad math anxiety, so I would rather just take that as 1 test, study just for math. Then the last MTEL is Foundations of Reading. I'm actually in a prep class for that right now. There are some prep classes offered at BSU that are 3 credits, or you can take those little prep classes the school offers that are like $200. So spread out your MTELs. Once you take communication literacy and pass, and you have the other requirements for the professional program, apply to the professional program. They accept students on a rolling basis, so you'll find out within a week or two, honestly. I think I got my email like the end of the week that I applied and I got accepted. So I'm officially in the professional program, which is just another thing you don't have to worry about. Once you are admitted to the professional program, you basically just finish off your second major in your core classes, like I keep saying. Your junior year, when it comes to like advising time for senior year fall semester, you're not going to be picking classes. You're not making a schedule like usual. It's going to be chosen for you because you're going into the block. So the block is what prepares you for student teaching. You need to have Monday through Friday 8 to 4 cleared for your schedule. It's just a lot of preparation. It's all your classes for elementary ed, teaching math in the elementary classroom, teaching science in the elementary classroom, teaching history in the elementary classroom. So you're really starting to learn how to teach. I do believe you go to local schools like in Brockton or maybe even Bridgewater to do mini lessons, I think, and start getting experience in the classroom. And then once you're done with the block your senior fall semester, you go into student teaching, and student teaching is just teaching below a teacher, and then you eventually slowly gain full control over all the lessons in the class. It's one semester, it's 16 weeks, and you gradually just kind of teach more and more lessons. I guess I'll also tell you guys my plans for after graduation. So I'm graduating in 2020, my bachelor's degree in English and my bachelor's degree in elementary education. And then I'm doing this new program that they introduced to Bridgewater, which is the kind of like accelerated master's program for elementary ed. So there's two options as of now. I chose the technology one. Your concentration can either be technology in the elementary classroom or STEM, and STEM is like science, technology, engineering, and math. I chose technology because I'm not really into math and science, as you know. So technology I thought would be more me, and I think it would be really cool to know like stuff to incorporate into my classroom. You don't have to choose between those two concentrations if you don't want to. If you don't want to do the master's program, that's fine. It's not required. It's just an option if you want to get your master's degree within one extra year of graduating. So I do a summer semester, a fall semester, and a spring semester, and I'm done and I get my master's degree. And I decided to do this because I feel like it'll just be helpful when finding a job. I'll already have my master's degree. Teachers, at least in Massachusetts, I don't know about other states, have to get their master's degree anyway within like 5 years of teaching, I think. I'd rather get it done now while I don't have a full-time job and then not have to worry about it while I'm teaching full-time and then have to go to school to get my master's at night. It'll just be a little too crazy for me. I think it's a really good program. If you want to look more into it, if you go to Bridgewater and you're interested, it's called the Double Degree Concentration Program, and you can look that up on the Bridgewater website. I'll be 21 my senior year, and I'll be graduating at 20. Wait, I'm graduating college at 21. Is that normal? Whatever. So I'm graduating college at 21, and then I'm graduating with my master's when I'm 22. Why do I feel like I'm not doing this math right? I don't know, but apparently I'll have my master's at 22, which is crazy to me, and I think that's so cool to just have it over with. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any more questions about my majors, either English or elementary ed, or just specific Bridgewater State University questions, you can just always leave them down below on whatever video, and I usually get back to you super quick. I also have an Instagram. It's at Haley DeMello if you want to DM me on there. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.